what are the barriers for adoption in India in terms of mediation and the promotion of mediation and the establishment of these institutions? What needs to happen to bring that up to the level of arbitration?
What's been happening is, although Supreme Court in some judgments in the recent past has discussed the scope of mediation, has promoted mediation by saying that this is the future, the kind of pendency we see in this country, the only possible solution, only cost-effective solution could be adapting to mediation and conciliation in comparison to arbitration. But that has not really been implemented in practice, although there were committees that were set up by Supreme Court. There are some good centers also, as I said, CAMP in Bangalore, and then there are others providing ODR services as well. But the stakeholders, the decision makers, have to first accept mediation as a practice. So what I think we are not doing is we're training potential dispute resolution practitioners to become mediators. We're also training people to become mediation counsels. However, what we are not doing is we're not tapping the decision makers, which are the in-house counsels, which are the corporations, which are the management of big companies who can let their commercial disputes adjudicated or settled through alternative dispute resolution mechanism. Because in their understanding and knowledge, litigation and now arbitration are the most effective ways to resolve these disputes. So till the time that exposure is given to the decision makers, the commercial mediation may not really take off. Family matters, matrimonial, etc., consumer matters, those kind of mediations have been doing very well in India. Um, in almost all matrimonial matters, it is mandatory for courts to send parties for mediation, and very often we see, if not fully, with some parts of that dispute are resolved. If there is a child custody involved, if there is alimony involved, some of the difficult portions of that entire umbrella of dispute is resolved, and then rest of the things are just done through court mechanism. But so yes, so the first challenge really remains adapting mediation as a first choice for commercial mediation to take off. And why I'm emphasizing on commercial mediation, Aled, is a harsh reality. Mediation as a profession can only take off if there is enough and sufficient money for all the stakeholders. While as a service, of course, it's a great thing. India, through Legal Services Act, has been promoting ADR and any other means of resolving disputes where parties don't have to go to courts to reduce pendency. But until and unless we are able to resolve multi-million, multi-billion dollar disputes through mediation, the essence of mediation and the fact that mediation can really be a game changer will take a little while for this country to accept. So that there goes the first problem. And then the second problem is, I think, legislative intent. Although, as I said, ACI talks about mediation conciliation. Arbitration Act has arbitration and conciliation, but there is no mention of mediation. We have certain statutes which mentions mediation. In fact, Section 89 of CPC also provides for courts to send parties to any sort of ADR mechanism that they deem fit. And then there are Industrial Disputes Act, then there is Consumer Protection Act, then there is Companies Act, which provides for mediation. So till the time there is a proper legislative force to mediation in India, there is a legislation, there is a statute taking care of mediation agreements, the first challenge will not be completely resolved, which is to say the stakeholders will only gain that confidence when the second step is taken. So it's a chicken and egg sort of a vicious circle. But there is a lot of hope after Singapore, mediation convention was signed by India and one of the first signatories. A ratification is on its way, but I think that's a great step. There was a lot of enthusiasm from all the stakeholders in the country. A lot of former judges, a lot of bureaucrats seemed very excited when this step was taken, and I think that may pave path for an early legislation to come out. And there's already a committee working on a draft, so it may not be in distant future. It may be in near future that we may have a legislation taking care of mediation as a practice.